Everyone wants to be seen, not because they are invisible, but because they secretly believe they are not enough as they are. You spend your life trying to be extraordinary, not because life demands it, but because the ego cannot tolerate being ordinary. The ego thinks ordinary means forgettable. It fears blending in. It needs to stand out, to be special, to matter. But what you call ordinary is simply life without performance. You don't fear being unnoticed. You fear being yourself without the mask of importance. You say you want to fulfill your potential. But what if potential has nothing to do with achievement? What if it's not what you do, but how honestly you live? You worry about your purpose. You worry about your gifts. You worry about your future. But none of this comes from love. It comes from the belief that your existence needs justification. Understand this clearly. The fear of being ordinary is the fear of being unguarded. If you were fully yourself, without improvement, without performance, without identity, what would be left to protect? Nothing. And that's the ego's nightmare. Not failure, not rejection, not obscurity. The ego fears a life without a role to play. So you chase uniqueness, you chase identity, you chase status in spirituality, in work, in love. Even selflessness becomes a strategy. Even kindness becomes a performance. Even humility becomes a disguise, all to avoid being nothing special. But look closely. What is so wrong about being no one in particular? Why must your life be a statement? Why must your relationship be epic? Why must your spiritual journey be profound? Why is simple not enough? You don't need meaning to exist. Meaning comes from existing honestly. You don't need purpose to be valuable. Presence itself expresses value. You don't need to be extraordinary to live fully. Fullness is your nature when you stop reaching for more. The ego says, I must be significant, but life already is. The ego says, I must achieve, but presence is already complete. The ego says, I must matter, but you don't matter as a character. You matter as life expressing itself. In nothing special, you discover what is unconditionally real. The fear of being ordinary dissolves when you no longer ask life to validate you. Then you work not to succeed, but to participate. You love not to secure yourself, but to connect. You create not to impress, but to express. You live not to matter, but because you are alive, and that is enough. For the next 24 hours, do not try to stand out. Do not try to impress. Do not try to prove anything. Let yourself be ordinary on purpose. Speak simply. Act honestly. Do what is natural, not exceptional, and watch how life expands when you stop performing it. Ordinary is not small. Ordinary is free. Vulnerability is not what you show. It is what you don't protect. People think vulnerability is about expressing emotions, revealing wounds, sharing personal stories, speaking openly about pain. But vulnerability does not come from revealing weakness. It comes from not using weakness to secure attention, sympathy, or connection. What you share is not the point. Why you share is everything. The ego has learned to use vulnerability as currency. It performs honesty in exchange for validation. It displays insecurity to receive reassurance. It showcases wounds to gain intimacy, not truth. A transaction, a subtle attempt to be seen without the risk of being rejected. This is not vulnerability. This is emotional negotiation. Understand this clearly. Vulnerability is not exposure. Vulnerability is non-defense. You can tell your entire life story and still be guarded. You can cry and still be hiding. You can say, "I'm afraid," while secretly controlling how others see you. Real vulnerability is without strategy. It asks for nothing. It is honest without seeking a response. It is simply transparency. You believe vulnerability means to be raw and expressive, but rawness is not vulnerability if it is used to feel special. Expression is not vulnerability if it is used to gain closeness. Honesty is not vulnerability if it is used to manipulate connection. Authenticity does not demand recognition. It doesn't need applause for truth. Real vulnerability is quiet, not dramatic, not intense, not sentimental. It is simply undefended. You don't need to show your pain. You need to stop protecting yourself against being real. You don't need to confess your wounds. You need to stop using them as identity. You don't need deep emotional displays. You need to stop requiring safety before honesty. Vulnerability is not a performance of truth. It is truth without performance. When you drop the strategy, you drop the need to be understood, the desire to impress with honesty, the expectation of comfort in response, the demand for closeness, the fear of being unseen. Then something simple appears. Presence without guardrails. It is not dramatic. It is natural. It doesn't make you special. It makes you real. Vulnerability without performance does not say, "Look at me." It says, "Here I am." And it reveals what you never needed: protection, presentation, or proof. It reveals that connection happens not through emotional displays, but through the absence of emotional strategies. The ego collapses not when you bear your wounds, but when you stop using them. For the next 24 hours, speak honestly without emphasizing emotion. Share yourself without asking for a reaction. Let discomfort exist without seeking reassurance. When you feel the urge to perform vulnerability, to dramatize honesty, to highlight your pain, stop. Do not hide it. Do not showcase it. Just be real without asking for validation. Let truth exist without strategy. This is vulnerability, not exposed, but unprotected. Honesty becomes cruelty the moment you use truth to protect your ego. You can tell the truth to control. You can tell the truth to win. You can tell the truth to punish. You can tell the truth to avoid vulnerability. Cruelty is not in the words. Cruelty is in the intention. Kindness disappears the moment truth is used as a weapon. Honesty without cruelty does not prove anything. It does not defend righteousness. It does not try to be correct. It does not speak to make a point. It speaks to reveal what is real. Truth delivered without love is ego pretending to be wise. You think you are being honest because you are not lying. But honesty is not the absence of falsehood. Honesty is the absence of manipulation. The ego manipulates with silence. It manipulates with politeness. And it manipulates with truth. If honesty is used to win, it is cruelty. If honesty is used to shame, it is cowardice. If honesty is used to elevate yourself, it is insecurity. Real honesty exposes you before it exposes anyone else. Honesty without cruelty is simple. State what is true without trying to defend yourself, without trying to attack, without trying to control the outcome. It does not protect the ego, and it does not punish the other. It is a mirror, not a weapon. A kind truth does not soften reality. It softens the ego that delivers it. Truth spoken from clarity does not need intensity. Truth spoken from love does not need harshness. Truth spoken from humility does not need to prove itself. Cruelty speaks to be right. Honesty speaks to be real. Most cruelty hides behind the phrase, "I'm just being honest." But if honesty leaves another person feeling attacked, not because of the truth, but because of the way you delivered it, then the truth was not the issue. The ego holding the truth was the issue. Words only wound deeply when they are thrown, not shared. Honesty without cruelty places truth on the table, not in someone's face. Kind honesty is not soft. It can be firm, clear, and uncompromising, but it does not blame. It does not shame. It does not punish. It describes reality without adding judgment. It expresses needs without attacking character. It speaks boundaries without rejecting humanity. It is direct without aggression. It is strong without superiority. It is truth that does not abandon love. For the next 24 hours, when you must say something true that feels uncomfortable, do not raise your intensity. Do not try to convince. Do not try to be understood. Do not speak to protect your pride. Speak only what is true and remove anything that defends or attacks. Let truth stand alone. Say what is real without trying to win. Say what is needed without trying to hurt. That is honesty, not cruelty, not performance, just truth with humanity. Pleasure is innocent. It is natural for the body to enjoy sensation, connection, movement, taste, touch, intimacy, rest. There is nothing spiritual about denying pleasure, and there is nothing unspiritual about wanting it. The problem is not pleasure. The problem is when pleasure becomes a strategy. Addiction begins when you use pleasure to escape yourself. Addiction is not repetition. Addiction is dependency. Real pleasure is a celebration. Addiction is a negotiation with discomfort. When you cannot sit with yourself, you search for something to numb you, excite you, distract you, lift you, or swallow you. Pleasure becomes a hiding place because you do not know how to rest in your own presence. People think addiction is about alcohol, sex, food, social media, ambition, spirituality, but the substance is not the addiction. Escape is the addiction. You do not crave the thing. You crave the absence of yourself. You are not drawn to pleasure. You are avoiding the silence behind it. Pleasure becomes poison only when you reject stillness. Here is the spiritual clarity. Pleasure becomes addictive when you use it to replace consciousness. It becomes sacred when you allow it to express consciousness. Pleasure without escape is rooted. Pleasure without identity is pure. Pleasure without need is freedom. When you are not trying to fill a void, pleasure becomes an experience, not a sedative. When you are not needing pleasure to save you, you can enjoy it without losing yourself. Desire becomes suffering only when you believe it will fix you, but nothing can fix you because nothing is wrong with you. Desire does not need to disappear. It needs to be honest. Do you want joy or do you want distraction? Do you want connection or do you want validation? Do you want intimacy or do you want escape from yourself? The body can enjoy pleasure, just don't make it responsible for your freedom. Pleasure is addictive when you are absent. Pleasure is sacred when you are present. Presence transforms pleasure into expression. Absence turns pleasure into anesthesia. The body enjoys, awareness witnesses, ego grasps. Pleasure is beautiful when the body and awareness are together. It becomes addiction when the ego is in charge. There is nothing wrong with wanting to feel good, but when pleasure becomes a solution to inner discomfort, you feed the discomfort. When you use pleasure to escape emptiness, you deepen the emptiness. But when you allow pleasure to arise in presence, the emptiness is not a problem to solve. It is space for joy to move in. Pleasure then becomes movement in stillness, not escape, expression. For the next 3 days, do not use pleasure to escape your inner state. Before you eat for comfort, before you scroll for stimulation, before you seek intimacy for validation, before you drink, watch, indulge, or chase pals, ask quietly, am I enjoying this or escaping? If you are escaping, sit for 60 seconds. Let the discomfort be felt without running from it. Then choose again. Let pleasure come from presence, not absence. Pleasure becomes freedom when you are not using it to flee yourself. Failure is only painful when you believe it says something about you. You don't suffer because things didn't work out. You suffer because you think the result defines who you are. When your identity is attached to success, failure looks like a threat. When your identity is attached to being seen as capable, failure looks like exposure. When your identity is attached to being special, failure looks like humiliation. But what if failure is not attacking you, it is freeing you from who you think you need to be? Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the collapse of identity. It strips away the illusion that your worth is in your achievements. It dismantles the belief that you must prove yourself. It exposes the ego's dependency on recognition. You think failure ruins your path, but failure removes the false path, the one built on image, expectation, and performance. Failure does not stop you. It stops who you were pretending to be. When you fail without making it personal, you discover something radical. Nothing happened to you. Only a strategy collapsed. Not your value, not your presence, not your life. Just the idea of who you needed to be. Failure reveals that identity was the real burden. You were serving your image instead of serving life. Success can inflate the ego, but failure dissolves it. Not by harming you, but by showing that who you think you are is irrelevant to what life needs from you. Failure says, your importance is not required, only your presence is. When the ego falls out of the way, you stop working to protect yourself and you start working to participate. Action becomes pure, not for outcome, but for truth. Look closely. Success is not fulfilling when it serves identity. It feels brittle, temporary, fragile, because you need the world to validate it. Failure is not devastating when it dismantles identity. It feels clarifying, spacious, liberating, because it destroys what never belonged to you. Failure frees you from the pressure of being someone. When you stop needing your actions to define you, you can act freely. You dare to try. You dare to experiment. You dare to learn. You dare to explore. You are willing to fail because failure no longer threatens your existence. And in that freedom, you stop forcing your path and you start following it. Failure unveils direction more honestly than success ever could. For the next 7 days, when something doesn't work, instead of asking, what does this say about me? Ask, what false identity is this freeing me from? Do not defend yourself. Do not explain yourself. Do not justify or repair your image. Let failure remove the mask. Let the collapse reveal the unnecessary. Feel the spaciousness of not having to prove anything. Failure is not a lesson in effort. It is a lesson in freedom. It destroys who you are, not so life can use who you are. Success is not something you create. It is something that flows through you when you stop trying to be someone. When identity is involved, success becomes a performance to prove worth, a performance to secure importance, a performance to protect an image. But when success is not being used to validate the self, it becomes simple, natural, effortless. Not easy, effortless. Effortless does not mean without work. Effortless means without ego. The ego tries to manage outcomes, to control reputation, to secure value. It treats success like a trophy that must be won to justify existence. But existence does not need justification. You are not here to explain yourself to the world. You are here to participate in it. Success is not earned by someone. It arises through no one. When you stop needing to be important, your actions become intelligent. When you stop trying to succeed, your work becomes precise. When you stop chasing validation, your movement becomes clean. Success flows where ego is absent, because truth has no resistance left inside you. You are no longer working for yourself. You are working for the work. Look closely. When art is made to impress, it has anxiety in it. When service is offered to be admired, it has manipulation in it. When leadership exists to be respected, it has fear in it. But when action is taken because it is true to take, nothing is in the way. No extra, no story, no demand. Success becomes a byproduct, not a mission. We believe that success requires intensity, but intensity is often insecurity disguised as ambition. Real success requires clarity. Clarity does not push. Clarity moves. Clarity does not chase. Clarity acts. Clarity is not obsessed with the outcome. Clarity does what is appropriate, then lets go. This letting go is not passive, it is confident. A mature confidence that does not cling to reward. When ego leaves the work, success no longer inflates the self. It has nothing to attach to. Pride cannot survive when you are not claiming credit for the flow. Arrogance cannot form when the work is seen as larger than you. Then success does not elevate you, it humbles you. Not by diminishing you, but by dissolving the illusion that you were the source. You become the instrument, not the author. True success does not make you bigger. It makes you clearer. It removes the need for applause. It removes the fear of failure. It removes the hunger to be seen. What remains is a life that works because it is not performing. A life where action comes from alignment, not from identity. A life where the river of reality uses you because you are not blocking it. For the next week, whenever you do something, work, create, serve, speak, or lead, shift your intention from how will this benefit me to what does this moment require? Do the action for the action. Give the gift for the giving. Serve the work, not your identity. Let life flow through you without claiming it. Success will arise naturally, not as your achievement, but as life expressing itself through clarity. Success without inflation is success that frees you, not binds you. Real connection has nothing to do with agreement. It has nothing to do with getting what you want, being understood, or being reassured. You don't need control to feel close. You only need to stop controlling. But the ego fears this. It believes connection must be earned, managed, or secured. So it tries to control how others see you, what they feel, what they give, and how they behave. You are not searching for love. You are searching for certainty. You think you want intimacy, but often you want a guarantee. You think you want understanding, but often you want agreement. You think you want closeness, but often you want to avoid uncertainty. Connection becomes fragile not because people change, but because you try to stop them from changing. You treat love like something that must not move, as if truth cannot flow and still be true. Understand this clearly. The moment you control connection, you kill connection. Control replaces curiosity with expectation. Control replaces presence with surveillance. Control replaces love with strategy. The ego cares less about being loved than being safe. It would rather be feared than uncertain. It would rather manipulate than surrender. It would rather be lonely than vulnerable. Control does not protect love. It suffocates it. Real connection only happens between two free people. If one person must adjust themselves to satisfy the other, closeness becomes compliance. If affection must appear in a specific form, love becomes performance. If the other must act according to your emotional terms, the relationship becomes a contract, not intimacy. Connection fails where freedom is not allowed. Look closely at your relationships. Do you want people to open up or to open up on your schedule? Do you want honesty or honesty that feels comfortable? Do you want truth or truth you can control? The ego does not seek connection. It seeks emotional authority. But authority has no place in love. Love is participation, not possession. When you allow others to be as they are, even if it challenges you, even if it disappoints you, even if it forces you to face your insecurities, then you are connecting with a real person, not a character you are trying to manage. Connection becomes alive, not predictable, honest, not strategic, shared, not negotiated. This is love without control. This is friendship without fear. This is intimacy without conditions. For the next 48 hours, when interacting with anyone you care about, do not hint, push, manipulate, seek reassurance, demand a specific response, expect emotional compliance. Instead, listen without steering, speak without shaping their reaction, give without expecting return. Let them be themselves without penalty. Let connection breathe. Ask yourself quietly, do I want their truth or my desired version of them? Let the truth of the other person exist, even if it's inconvenient. You will discover something rare. Connection does not require control to feel safe. It requires honesty to feel real. Solitude is not the absence of people. It is the presence of yourself. Most people do not spend time alone. They spend time away from others, while still searching for them inside their minds. They replay conversations. They rehearse future interactions. They imagine being admired or feared or understood. They compare, anticipate, and explain. They are alone physically, but not alone internally. They are still with others in their thoughts. Real solitude is different. Solitude is not a break. It is not a retreat. It is not an escape from noise. Solitude is intimacy with your own awareness, a deep breath of existence without reference to anyone else. You are not resting from the world. You are resting in reality. Solitude does not withdraw you. It returns you. Solitude becomes escape only when you use it to avoid feeling vulnerable, to avoid relationships, to avoid responsibility, or to avoid discomfort. But solitude as nourishment is not afraid of life. It prepares you for life. It fills you with yourself so you can meet others without need, without hunger, without strategy. Solitude is love that starts at the source. You do not need to isolate to know yourself. You need to stop feeling the silence. Let there be no music, no scrolling, no performance to yourself, no imagining the reactions of others. Just the body, just the breath, just being. This is not loneliness. This is communion. You are not alone here. You are alone with existence. Solitude nourishes because it empties you of pretense. It dissolves the pressure to fit in, to impress, to perform, to entertain. In solitude, there is nothing to maintain. No role, no identity, no audience. You stop being a character. You simply are. And that simplicity restores you. It strengthens you, not with ideas or confidence, but with presence. Presence is the nourishment. In real solitude, you do not escape life. You stop interfering with it. There is no pressure to feel good, no need to do something productive, no desire to make solitude meaningful. It is meaningful because you are there honestly. Solitude is not absence. It is wholeness without performance. When you allow that wholeness, need dissolves. Loneliness dissolves. Identity dissolves. You return to the ground of being not limited, not defined, not seen, not judged. Just here. Solitude is not a wall, it is a home. And when you leave that home to meet life, you do not go hungry. You bring presence with you, not craving connection, but participating in it. You offer yourself to others, not as someone needing to belong, but as someone who already rests in belonging. Choose 1 hour this week where you practice solitude without escape. No phone, no music, no sneaking into imagination, no thinking about others. Sit, lie down, walk, breathe, but stay with yourself. Not to analyze, not to meditate as a task, not to achieve peace. Simply to be with yourself without interruption. At the end, do not reflect, do not evaluate, do not look for insights. Just return to life unhurried. Solitude nourishes when it asks nothing of you and you ask nothing of it. Anger is not a problem. Violence is a problem. Anger is a signal. Violence is a reaction to the signal. Anger tells you something is not true, not fair, not allowed, not aligned. Violence appears when you refuse to listen to that truth. Anger rises honestly. Violence rises from resistance to the honesty. You were taught to fear anger because you confuse expression with destruction. You think that if you allow anger, it will consume you, hurt others, ruin relationships. So instead of listening to the anger, you suppress it, you avoid it, you perform calmness, you pretend to be forgiving, but suppressed anger does not disappear. It leaks as sarcasm, withdrawal, resentment, coldness, passive aggression. When anger is not allowed to speak honestly, it speaks indirectly. Understand this clearly. Anger is not hatred. Anger is honesty. Hatred is a story. Anger is a signal. Hatred attacks people. Anger reveals behavior. Hatred seeks to hurt. Anger seeks to protect. Anger without story is clean. Anger without blame is clear. Anger without demand is free. What you fear is not anger itself, but the stories the ego attaches to it. When you feel anger, your job is not to control it or release it or justify it. Your job is to listen. Anger rises to show your boundary, your truth, your authenticity, your need to speak honestly. Anger is like the body's immune system for integrity. It protects your dignity by alerting you when something is misaligned. Anger becomes violent when you ignore it too long. Let anger be simple, not dramatic, not explosive, not suppressed, just acknowledged. Something here is not true for me. That is anger in its pure form, not a story, not an attack, not a defense, just a simple internal recognition. And when anger remains simple, your expression can remain simple. A calm boundary, a clear statement, a direct no, a quiet change of direction, no violence needed. Look closely. Violence is not the intensity of anger. Violence is the desperation that comes from not listening to anger. Violence is anger mixed with fear. Violence appears when you are afraid of being honest. The more honest you can be early, the less intense your expression needs to be later. Boundaries do not need force when they are spoken before resentment grows. This week, practice anger without reaction. When anger rises, do not suppress it. Do not explode. Do not explain your story. Do not label anyone as wrong or bad. Simply acknowledge, internally, something here is not aligned for me. Then let your expression be as calm as your recognition. A clear statement, a clean boundary, a choice to step away. A direct request without pressure, no threat, no righteousness, no emotional performance, just truth, not violence. Anger is cleansing when you listen to it. It becomes violent only when you refuse to. Sadness is not a burden to get rid of. It is your body saying something matters. It does not arrive to break you. It arrives to soften you. Sadness is how the heart learns honesty, not through ideas, but through feeling. There is nothing wrong with feeling tender. There is nothing weak about being moved. Sadness is not an interruption to life. It is part of how life opens you. The problem is not sadness. The problem is when sadness turns into drama. Drama happens when your mind creates a story around the feeling. This shouldn't be happening. Something is wrong with me. I'll never get through this. Why is life doing this to me? The feeling itself is simple. The story makes it heavy. Sadness just wants to be felt. The story wants to be believed. Sadness without drama is pure. It is gentle, it is honest and cleansing. It does not ask for attention. It does not demand solutions. It does not seek an audience. It simply moves through you the way rain cleans the air. Let sadness come like weather. Let it soak you just enough to wash what needs to be washed. You do not need to understand it. You only need to feel it without adding interpretation. Look at how sadness behaves when you allow it. It rises quietly. It softens your breath. It slows your pace. It asks you to sit for a moment, to rest in yourself, to feel what is true without rushing to fix anything. Sadness is the heart unclenching. It is tenderness returning after too much strength, too much resistance, too much holding. It is vulnerability saying, I am here. Let me be felt. Drama wants others to respond. Sadness wants you to respond. Drama wants attention. Sadness wants presence. Drama needs a witness. Sadness needs room. Drama performs. Sadness reveals. Sadness does not break you. It breaks the shell you hide in. You don't need to express sadness loudly. You don't need to turn it into conversation or confession. You don't even need to understand its cause. Feelings do not need reasons. They need space. Allow sadness to exist the same way you allow your breath without explanation. Let it move through you the way rivers know how to find a sea. Let it complete itself. The heart knows how to heal when you stop trying to manage its experience. Today, or whenever sadness appears, do not speak it, analyze it, or dramatize it. Simply sit with it quietly, not to solve it, not to change it, not to make it meaningful, just to let it be what it is. Place one hand gently on your chest or stomach, not as technique, but as comfort. Breathe slowly. Feel the emotion without story like rain passing through. Do not ask for relief. Do not look for a message. Do not turn sadness into identity. Let it arrive. Let it touch you. Let it leave on its own. Sadness without drama heals instead of hurts. Desire is innocent. It is the body saying, I am alive. It is movement. It is warmth. It is curiosity. It is the body's way of celebrating existence. Desire becomes a problem only when identity tries to use it. You do not suffer desire, you suffer the self you've created around it. The ego does not want connection, it wants ownership. It does not want intimacy, it wants validation. It does not want to feel, it wants to be someone because of what it feels. Desire itself is simple. Identity turns it into performance. You want to be desired because you want to be important. You want to be chosen because you want to be significant. You want to be intimate because you want to be someone worth loving. The purity of desire is corrupted by the need to be a someone. Sexuality becomes distorted, not because desire is powerful, but because the ego uses desire to inflate or protect itself. Some use sexuality to feel valuable. Some use it to gain attention. Some use it to escape loneliness. Some use it to control another. But all of these are the same move. Using desire to create an identity, not feeling desire, becoming someone because of desire. You do not need to become someone. You do not need to correct yourself. You do not need to hide your flaws or highlight your qualities. You do not need to perform goodness. You do not need to perform strength. You do not need to perform spirituality. You do not need to perform humility. Listen deeply to this. You are not here to impress awareness. You are here to live as it. Masks were never wrong. They were protection while you learned how to exist in a world of other masks. But protection is not leaving. It is preparation. You needed the mask until you realized that you were never the mask. You needed identity until you discovered identity has no weight without your belief. You needed roles until they began to feel tight. Tightness is how the soul says, you're ready for something softer, not bigger, softer. Living without masks does not mean exposing everything. It does not mean confessing, explaining, or displaying vulnerability. It means not performing yourself in order to be accepted or admired. It means allowing presence to speak without strategy. It means letting your words come from honesty, not from image. It means letting your actions come from truth, not from pressure. It means letting relationships form from connection, not from control or performance. Masks fall naturally when you no longer need to manage perception. You do not need to be understood to be real. You do not need to be impressive to be worthy. You do not need to prove your kindness to be kind. Let this truth sink in. Life moves gently through those who stop trying to perform it. Living without masks is not dramatic. It is not a declaration. It is not a transformation story. It is something quieter, like relaxing a muscle you didn't know was tense. You don't become authentic. You stop pretending. When you stop performing, connection feels lighter. Work feels simpler. Love becomes cleaner. Presence becomes easier. You stop exhausting yourself with presentation, explanation, and justification. You stop editing yourself for approval and sculpting yourself for acceptance. You become receptive to life, not resistant to it. Living without mask is simply being present without negotiation. For the next few days, practice one simple truth. Do not try to be anything. Not honest, not humble, not strong, not wise, not impressive, not awakened. Let life come through you without interference. Let your words be enough. Let your actions be simple. Let your presence be unstyled. Wear no identity on purpose, not as rejection, but as rest. Let being human be ordinary. Let ordinary be enough. Look forward to the third series in this trilogy, The Radiance of the Real. the descent beyond personhood and human identity into reality itself. Watch this next video to continue your blissful journey in luminosity, House of Luminosity. Enter the light within.